What's up, FGO croissants?
Croissant.
This is why St. George is the greatest tank you can have easily in the game. St. George is a 2-star pimp daddy that soak up all of your team's damage and still be okay. This is a legitimate guide. His health stat is around 9,200 at level 65, which is equal to the higher end stats compared to the 3-star servant. His attack stat at level 65 is 5,236, which is low as all hell.
And Leon's getting larger.
But that's okay, since you're not using him to deal damage anyway. You're using him as your tanker, soaking up all the delicious white juices that come at you. Passive skills, nobody cares. This is what makes St. George a massive legend.
Hey, Vsauce. Massive legend here.
He taunts enemies to attack him for 3 turns, and as a bonus makes it so the attacks dealt to him are weaker. Do not underestimate a 40% defense buff. The defense buff is stronger than waivers. At level 10, the cooldown for this skill is 5 turns. His second skill heals himself. 2k at max, self-explanatory. At level 10, the cooldown for this skill is 5 turns, which is as low as I would go to suck some dick.
Yeah, boy.
The last skill is a guts, 2.5k HP at max level, cooldown of 7. His skills are pretty useful as it means that you have a servant that will soak up damage pretty easily and the 2 other servants will likely never be hurt. His noble Phantasm is a single target arts that deals okay damage. He gives the dragon trait to the enemy that he uses his NP with it. You can just think of this noble Phantasm as a regular arts card that just deals more damage than usual, so you can raise NP with an arts chain with it and just spam it however you feel like. Command cards. 2 quick, 2 arts, 1 buster. Having 2 arts card including his NP being arts means that he is a solid choice to put into arts teams. One of the best Bondsy in the game, hands down. Ascension materials. Skill materials. Leveling his skills gets difficult around level 7. What I like to do is run St. George with hands. They are an amazing combo. With just these 2, you can sustain your team through anything. Things to note, St. George is a rider class servant, meaning he will absorb stars like a madman. Here are some suggested team comps that will work very well with St. George.
Coming out of the closet and I've been doing a little booze and gotta go fast because I wanna know in Spanish. It started as a tax cut, how did little Pete die? It was a dark and stormy night, it was a dark and stormy night. Now I'm up to my neck in offers and she's calling me daddy while he's having a seizure and she's taking ages to reply. Now they're good dogs bred and my stomach is hard.
The craft essence I like to equip on St. George varies. Most craft essences are okay to use on him. My favorites are 2030, Steel Training, that was free and gives 2k HP, March of the Saints, Hot Spring Under the Moon. I'll explain why I like these craft essences. When using 2030, St. George will absorb those stars. Critting with an arts card is just better than having them not crit. It also gives a lot of HP stat. Steel Training helps you sustain. March of Saints is a 4-star CE that heals you while giving NP each turn. You don't need to use this unless you lack healing in your team composition. The Hot Spring CE gives stars each turn and gives crit damage. This CE makes your St. George a decent damage dealer. Remember to raise his skills, give him stats boosts, and use his guts skill a little early so you can have it back up again.
You so fucking precious when you smile.